Hey, Dr. Law here. Wanted to prepare a quick video as a kind of an instructional on how to prepare to do a first session. Basically, your first pre-practicum residency experience, as well as the courses you took before that, prepare you on a fundamental level to make that first engaging interaction with a client. That first interaction is very pivotal. It prepares a client to know what to expect from the session. So we talk about confidentiality and its uses, why we do it, and its limitations. But we also are mostly focused on providing an environment for them to share whatever it is that they have come to our office for. That means we need to establish rapport and to empathize or show empathy towards them so that they can feel or believe that we are truly invested or interested in what is going on. Now, in that first session, many of us, maybe we have a desire to jump in and say, hey, I know exactly what to do to help you out. That's problem solving, that's suggestions, that's advice giving. That's actually not what is necessary for that first session. So any thoughts or any worries you have about knowing what to do to help the person, you can actually set that aside for this first session. So in the first session, you're going to use those basic foundational skills and micro skills that you've already been learning about. Some of those are paraphrasing, summarizing, reflection of content, or reflection of feeling. Those all gather information, but it also shows that we are validating them and that we are showing empathy. Other things have to do with our body language, if we're paying it to show we're paying attention, such as our eye contact, doing minimal encouragers, echoing, and other small techniques. Another one that's seldom used, especially with someone who's starting out, is silence. It's okay for things to get quiet for a moment. It's okay if you don't know what to say. When I was learning the same things you are learning now, my instructor said, when in doubt, reflect, reflect, reflect. So what he was saying is, in those moments when we're not sure what to say, reflect the content they've been describing, or deflect or reflect their feelings that they are saying or the ones they are implying. That can help to deepen and further the information. And again, it shows that we're validating and showing empathy. Now that's good and all, and it lasts about 5-10 minutes into the session. But after that, the person can start talking about why they're there even more so. Let's say they're there for anxiety. That's great. We need to know what the anxiety looks like. We need to know when it comes on, if there are certain things that bring it on. We need to know how long it's been there, when they first noticed it, how it's affecting their daily living, how it's affecting their sleep. There's all kinds of things we can ask and learn about. Also, we need to know if there are other things going on. What else could be a contributing factor to why they're there in your office? And this is where your other courses come into play. We need to know, or at least one thing that's beneficial, is we need to start to develop a biopsychosocial evaluation. Now, I'm not saying I want you to start worrying about that yet, but a biopsychosocial evaluation gives you a conceptualization of who they are and what they're there for. So anyways, like I was saying, biopsychosocial gives us a conceptualization of who this person is, how their issues began to develop, and also how it's affecting them today. It also gives us an idea of their medical background, their mental health background, many things which you will yet learn in other courses. But one thing that can be helpful is remembering the other things you've learned in other classes, such as your lifespan development courses, where you learned about Erikson, you learned about Piaget, Freud, Vygotsky, and many other theorists who looked at the development of an individual. Because what can happen is, as you're talking to the person, you're gathering information, is you can start to see developmental things that happened or didn't happen. And that can help you to, again, conceptualize possibly what is going on with this individual. And so keep that in the back of your mind. So I'm going to go backwards a little bit. Let's say you're 10 minutes into the session and they've talked about how they're anxious about social situations. They tend to clam up, they freeze up, they're afraid of what people are thinking about them. We may automatically think, well, this is social anxiety disorder, SAD. Well, it could be, but the truth is there's many other disorders that have those symptoms as well. It could be that they'd had a traumatic incident in a public setting and that they are experiencing anxious symptoms, intrusive symptoms, etc., that are actually based on trauma rather than anxiety. So again, we need to gather information. So we can begin asking those questions. So again, just keep those in the back of your mind as you're preparing to talk to a client. But most importantly, if you're confused and not sure where to go, reflect and continue gathering information. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. I am happy to help.